Hello, how are you doing? Welcome. I am Jimena Urrutia. I am the director of the GuadaLajara Film Festival. And I am really glad to say hello to you this morning in this Zoom meeting, now that we are more familiarized with the technology. I thank you all for being here today. And of course, I thank the people joining us this morning to present the 11th edition of this festival that we are so honored to have. And coming back to the theaters, this has been a very complex year, 2 very complex years. It has been difficult to meet again, to go back to the theaters, but also it has been a year that has been good for the film because films have shown us that we are able to fly, that we are able to meet each other and visit other worlds. And this is the central part of our film festival that will be presented on November 4th in LA. So thank you very much for joining us again. I will introduce Consul Marcela Celorio, the Consul General of Mexico in LA. Thank you very much, Marcela, for joining us. I thank you for your attention in this office that has always helped spread the roots of Mexico. We also have Luis Gustavo Padilla Montes, Vice President of the Foundation of the University of Guadalajara in the United States, that has worked hard in order to make the Letters of Mexico known in the U.S. and has helped a lot to have the previous 10th editions of the festival. And of course, Lalo España, someone that we know very well. He is a part of the Poderosa Victoria film. He is one of the actors in the film. And I know that you have that you're wearing this T-shirt to share the values of this film, especially regarding the society of Mexico and the U.S. through the Latin America population. I invite you to remember what last year was this digital film festival due to the pandemic that left a great taste in our mouth. So I will show you what this was.
So, muchísimas gracias, GuadaLajara Film Festival. Y quiero decir que nací.
Thank you, GuadaLajara Film Festival. I was born in LA, but I am from Mexico. My heart is from Mexico. Esto es parte de mi vida. He sufrido mucho. Ahora creo que es un tiempo maravilloso, quizás el mejor para las mujeres. Si puedes conectar con alguien para contar tu historia, es lo que vale. This year has opened new ways to get rid of the borders. This festival pays homage to the Latin culture, culture we are really proud of. Quería hablar de este aniversario que es como el Big Bang, la conquista de los españoles. Creo que esta historia es fascinante, es importante desde el punto de vista político. Sí, trabajan duro y están muy orgullosos de su herencia. We really moved all over Latin America to create these characters. Everybody was talking about us, of what they saw about us. El punto de vista de todos es válido en este escenario. Talk to the world about the urgent topics. Thank you very much for joining us. We will see you soon in the GuadaLajara Film Festival. Marcela is also applauding. I know you were part of this too, Marcela. Thank you very much. Now I would like to give the floor to Gustavo so he could tell us about the important points of this festival. Thank you very much. First of all, good afternoon, dear members of this presidium and the members of the media, dear friends that are joining us this morning. First of all, it is an honor for me to address you on behalf of the president of the University of Guadalajara, Raúl Padilla, who unfortunately was not able to join us this morning, but says hello and thank you for being part of this press conference where we will announce the details of the general program of the 2021 Guadalajara Film Festival. I especially want to thank the ambassador, Marcela Celorio Mancera, General Consul of Mexico in LA. Thank you, Ambassador, for being so close to us and helping us. You have been so kind for all your time in office, and I want to recognize your work. I also want to thank and recognize Lalo España, Mexican actor who features in Poderoso Victoria, a film that will be on the opening of this edition of the festival. It will be part of the opening of the festival. And especially Jimena Urrutia, the new director of the Guadalajara Film Festival, who has been really working hard since last year in a very professional and passionate way in order to take this to our community in the United States and LA, Mexico, and Jalisco. During these 10 years, the Film Festival of Latin America has become one of the most important benchmarks of the culture in LA. LA has one of the greatest Latin communities, and this is transcendental for our festival. This is a decade where this film has been broadcasted in LA, in Hollywood, but from 4 to 6 November, this festival will be in downtown LA, a very well-known space for its richness as a city. And in this festival, we will see Mexican and Latin American films and the new voices and emergent filmmakers from the US. As I mentioned, the opening film will be Poderoso Victoria, a film by Raúl Ramón, an experienced Mexican director with a broad trajectory in Mexico and the US, and well known all over the world. This history is the story of many Mexicans who are trying to decide whether or not to migrate or stay and try to change their environment. As every year, the Guadalajara Film Festival will be recognizing very important personalities that have worked hard in order to foster and develop Latin American films. This year, we will have Dani Trejo, activist, filmmaker, and Get Lit foundation that through the arts wants to make another reality available for young people in danger. Their work of Get Lit is helping many young people that think that they have no other opportunities. The experiences of Danity took him to Hollywood and to fame through the film. And now he has become an activist. In a few minutes, Jimena Urrutia, director of this festival, will let us know more details of the program of this 10th edition. However, I would like to let you know that we will have an exhibit by David Camarena, wonderful photographer and director, by L.A. Curante, that will be free of charge. And I don't want to close this presentation without acknowledging that the hard work of this 10th year has been possible thanks to the foundation of the University of Guadalajara. And I want to acknowledge the support provided by the University of Guadalajara to this festival. And I want to tell you that we share a set of interests linked to the identity, the presence, the transfer of Latin culture, especially Mexican culture, all over the world. Last but not least, I want to recognize the General Consul of Mexico in LA and her office, because it's thanks to them that we can make this festival available to you and all the organizations that have opened their doors to the films of this festival. The organizing committee that has worked so hard this year, especially. I thank the community that has believed in the University of Guadalajara in LA. So I will see you next month in this great festival. Thank you and congratulations. Thank you very much, Gustavo. Let me tell you that we are going to be together not next month, but next year. Yes, in November, but next week. Now I will share this microphone with Marcela Celorio, the Consul General of Mexico in LA. Thank you, Jimena. I remember that last year we were amidst the pandemic and we did what we could, but we fought hard. And here we are. It's great for us, the Consulate of Mexico in LA, be part of this wonderful film festival known as GLAFF. And along the University of Guadalajara, I say hello to Raúl Padilla, the Foundation of the University of Guadalajara in LA. Luis Gustavo, glad to meet you. We're sharing art and culture, and I'm thrilled to meet Lalo España for the first time, not as an actor in the screen, but right now. I love Poderoso Victoria. The name says a lot, the combination of the female and male parts, but that will be something we will enjoy next week. We have him in the 36th edition of the GuadaLajara Film Festival, but we will have him again here next week. We are allies, our partners in the promotion of culture, or make available to all the community, not only the Mexican or Latin American, but Anglo-Saxon communities too, our culture, our commitment through films. And I love this festival because there are many films with very important topics, like the LGBTQ plus community, Finland, Quinceañera, are films about stories showing the importance of education and avoiding discrimination, because we are all human beings, and this is what makes you better and make us rich. So I'm glad to be part of this effort. Congratulations. I will be looking forward to seeing you in LA. There are many things we can celebrate here. Thank you, Marcela. I think you mentioned one thing that is essential to us, the sisterhood and brotherhood that we have need together, the bridges that we have built between the film made in Latin America and the film made by Latin Americans in the US, two visions that have the same roots but have followed different paths. And this is an important thing that we should stress during this festival. We have been working on this for 1 year, having these Latin American filmmakers living in the US to be part of our festival. This work in progress that we have is wonderful because we have received films from many countries in Latin America and very powerful films that become part of the festival that were created by Latin American hands in the US. 6 films will be competing for a film in a prize in money as part of this GLAFF, as Marcela said. And we have 12 awards, in-kind awards, for the films to be completed and then shown, hopefully, in our festival. So we will be paying attention, close attention, to what happens to each of them. This is a festival that has been wonderful for me to follow and build little by little, hand in hand with a wonderful team, both in Mexico and in the US, because this teamwork is what is required to have a nice film and a nice completion of our duties. As Gustavo mentioned, we are evolving. We are moving the festival to downtown LA, where many artist communities are located. So we hope we will get new audiences. East LA Hotel will be the hotel of the festival. We will show some films in the City Movie Hall and other theaters in the area, and the MoCA Museum. So these are places that are well known by the community in LA, and we want to be part of that story. The opening film will be, as we have mentioned, Poderoso Victoria by Raúl Ramón. But we will also have other films that will be very enjoyable. Gotcha Film One will be shown in the MoCA Theater, and then Quinceañera by Pedro Pereira, the story of Bambi Salcedo, a woman that has fought hard for the rights of the LGBT community. So these are a few of the very wonderful films that we will have in our festival. We also have short films, and this is very important. I think it's important to make the space available to all the directors of short films and all the directors that may be showing their feature films here or anywhere. We have created a new director community to have the participation of short filmmakers from LA. We also will pay homage to Danny Trejo, one of the actors that we admire so much, not just because of his wonderful career and his ability, but his ability to reinvent himself, which is an example for young people and anyone, because it's important to know that you may find a new door anywhere. And he represents this Latino community. So Danny Trejo will be joining us, and we will be honored to have him. Get Lit is the organization that will be honored this year. All the box office will be donated to Get Lit. We will also deliver the Tree of Life award to the director and the team, because it's amazing what they have attained through the art, through poetry, with young people living in the streets. And we are so glad to be part of what they do. So please get your tickets, because this is important for the organization to continue working hard and supporting young people in the US. So definitely on November 4th, we will be waiting for you to see Poderoso Victoria. You can get to GLAFF.org or our social media to get the information you need to attend all the films. You can purchase your tickets to be part of the film festival and help the Get Lit Foundation. So as of November 4th to 6th, we will have for you events, films, feature films, short films. And the creator of the poster of the GLAFF, of this image of a bridge that stands for the Union of Mexico and the US, that get together through this festival this year in order to have great movies. Now I would love to continue talking to you, but first I would like to give the floor to Lalo España. Lalo, I'm sure you can join us to watch this minute film and then talk to us about your experience with GLAFF and the movies. So now let's watch this video. We're almost there. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I would like to say that the music and these images are by Damian Galvez, who has created music for very important films. So he used Jarabe Tapatío for this minute film. And I thank the creators and the filmmakers that made this possible. Damian will be delivering a master class. We will have many master classes. So by saying that, I would like to tell us how proud you are of Poderoso Victoria. I know you are. I can see your face. Please tell us something about Poderoso Victoria and the festival. Yes, of course. Thank you, Jimena, my dear Jimena. Thank you and the organization of the festival for including us. We are so happy. Poderoso Victoria required a lot of work, talent, mainly from Guadalajara, where jobs were created for people in every area, technical area, artistic area. The producer Fabiola Velázquez, Raúl Ramón, the director, are really happy for the response of the public. We obtained the public award. I think this is the most important award because this is obtained through the connection with the people, thanks to the generalization essence of the film. This film tries to inspire us to move ahead despite the apparent lack of capacities of some of the characters. They move on, they generate their own project. There's something that happens that I cannot talk about regarding the train in a town. No. Spoilers, no, because we are seeing the film on November 4th. Well, this story is about hope, about reivindication. I love the idea of having these types of stories, connecting with the Latin public, using the festival to foster this type of stories. It's very important to say that a work like this requires very, very hard work, and sometimes you cannot get the whole, all the things you need to complete the film. And I love the idea of helping this foundation that does great work teaching to read and write through poetry and arts. This is wonderful. I just love the idea of creating bridges in the festival, through the festival, to make people inspired so they can tell their stories too, and having so many different and colorful stories. So we continue to have Latin American filmmakers with so many powerful stories about dignity, pride, and so forth. So I'm thankful for this. So we will see you soon. I am looking forward to seeing you in the opening ceremony. I will be the most handsome guy there. So, ladies, we know who you are. That was very clear. And this is the only reason for us to invite you. Okay, so now I would like to open the floor to questions from the press, the media, and the public. Please send your questions so we can answer anything that you may think is important. A question is if the people in Mexico can see some of the films in LA. Yes, it's a wonderful film, and I think we should be proud of it. And trying to get good things out of the pandemic, I think one of these things is becoming universal and using digital platforms or the GLAFF.org website. You will be able to see what is featured not only in LA, but in Mexico. And you will be able to see some of those films. So this availability is something that makes us proud. Another question? How do you feel of having Danny Trejo? Well, we are so proud to have him. We are so proud to have Danny Trejo. He is a 77-year-old guy that is a teacher of life. He has been able to fall down, get up again, and reinvent himself, and that's important. There are so many stories we can talk about in the festival, but having Danny Trejo, let's be honest, Machete, he is a great actor, and we are so proud to have him and pay homage to him. A question for the consul. How will the consulate in LA will support the film festival? Well, this is a great question because it allows me to recognize the work done by my predecessors. We work for the Mexican state, and through this initiative by the University of Guadalajara and the foundation, the film festival is now 11 years old. So you have worked with other consuls, not only myself. And amidst the pandemic, I will always say that as vaccines help us fight COVID, also culture and art help us fight COVID. It's wonderful to have this opportunity to see some films, and this is good for our souls. So we promote the film festival through our platforms, our website, Instagram. And as you know, the consulate in LA, we have broadened circumscriptions, Santana, San Bernardino, Oxnard, and so forth. So after Mexico City, LA is a city with the largest number of Mexican, and we also are a greater community of Anglo-Saxon and Latin Americans. Why is the film festival moving from Hollywood to downtown LA? Well, I would like to give the floor to Gustavo because, as we have mentioned many times, we thought it was time to renew the festival and get closer to new audiences. As Gustavo mentioned, downtown LA is the heart of the city, and you can see there many, many activities by Latin Americans and other people that love films, and students and people that are ready to go to the theaters, movie theaters. So, as we say, we need to renew or die. So this was a perfect time to do that. Another question through social media. Are short films being featured? Yes, of course. As I mentioned before, I think any festival and any filmmaker will say that short films are key to understand the new generations and get the pulse of what is happening in the new societies created by young people, because the films will reflect the societies because they are the result of the eye that holds a camera. And young people tend to start by creating short films, and perhaps later on the great feature film creators of Latin America and the US. So this is essential. As of last year, we included a selection of short films made in the US by Latin Americans. And of course, we have a documentary section. So we have 3 selections, and also animation. I was forgetting about animation, so we will have many short films, of course. The foundation of the University of Guadalajara is supporting this film festival. What's the budget for that? Well, if you allow me, I can tell you in general that, first of all, this film festival, as the ambassador said, is traditional. It has been presented for many years. And one of the funding, or part of the fundings, is a film Gladys Broadman Foundation, a lady from the US that due to health reasons, came to live to Guadalajara, fell in love with the culture, the art, the cultural environment of Jalisco and Mexico, and she went back. But when she died, she left her fortune to continue fostering young talent and foster art and culture, especially with regards to visual and plastic arts. So, a specific funding source is the Grotman Legacy that is around 4,400,000 pesos or $209,000. The other part of the funding is sourced by this idea of the University of Guadalajara of creating bridges and fostering the program of the University of Guadalajara in LA. As Ms. Celorio just mentioned, it's a commitment by public universities, especially the University of Guadalajara, to create bridges, to build bridges. You know that in California, the number of Latin American citizens is very high, and out of this community, the largest number come from Mexico or have Mexican roots. So there are 1.8, 1.9 million inhabitants there are from Jalisco. So we have maintained contact with them. So the other source of funding is the University of Guadalajara through plans that mean no profit for the university in terms of the university as institution. As Jimena mentioned, the box office benefits are donated to different organizations. So this effort and everything that has to do with additional costs are paid through sponsorships. We are creating a sponsorship program that includes the community in LA, Mexican American community in LA, so we can comply with one of the essential functions of universities. And as the ambassador said, the government of Mexico that is promoting our art and culture, specifically the Mexican art and culture. Thank you. Eduardo, do you think this film will be well received in LA? You talk about building bridges, but do you think this story can be well received by the Anglo-Saxon community? Yes, of course, because the values are universal. It has to do with the human spirit, the idea of moving forward, and that happens anywhere, Mexico, LA, Japan. And the story is told with a great dignity, wonderful music, very beautiful music. Or the details are very, very nicely handled. And so I think it's universal. Thank you very much. Next question to Jimena. Top Cinema asks you to talk about the different aspects you consider to choose the films that will be featured in the GLAFF. Well, the first things is good films, the nice stories that help us connect with values, as Lalo mentioned, but also the ability that we have in Latin America to tell stories. So we have a very important selection team that worked really hard to look for stories that will be able to connect with the Mexicans in the U.S. and the general public in the U.S. because we like to connect to everyone in the U.S. and LA specifically. and everyone through digital platforms. So we were looking for films with this special ability to combine great elements, not only great stories, but production values. Films like the ones we have in our three galas, Catch for One, Poderoso Victoria. The story will be featured on November 5 at MOCA, and LA Quinceañera, a film that helps us understand very specific stories of young people that will become universal stories that are told by one character that will mean a lot to everyone else. We have films from many different countries in Latin America, and each of them has the ability to connect with the different audiences for which they have been selected. I want to stress that the general program of the festival, and specifically each of the films, Finlandia, for instance, it will be very hard to have the time to talk about each of the films, but all of them are very important and significant for the different audiences, and can become a universe for all those who see the films. The last is not a question, but a comment. Hello, Lalo. Welcome to the US. Thank you for working so hard. Well, thank you very much. If you don't have any questions or comments, I want to thank Marcela for joining us, and Gustavo and Lalo. This is not a goodbye. We will see you soon in LA. And also, I want to thank the team that has made this festival possible, that has made possible for us to have the festival ready next week. The University of Guadalajara in the US, and the Broadman Legacy that has helped us a lot to have this film festival in LA. And of course, the University of Guadalajara, our host in every year in Guadalajara and LA, that has helped us continue working hard and taking these films everywhere. So thank you, team in Mexico and LA. So I will see you soon, within 1 week in LA. Looking forward to. Thank you, Marcela, Lalo, Gustavo, and thank you, everyone.